My name is Trevor Barnsen. I'm the ranch manager here at the Straight Arrow Ranch in Circleville, Utah. We're a cow-calf operation. We also grow alfalfa hay, meadow hay. We've been known to do a little horse hay, but mostly this time it's focused just on the cows.
My name is Bown, and we are in Sanpete County down in Fayette, Utah. It's about the middle of the state. We are a dairy operation. We're milking right around 1,000 cows, and we farm around 600 acres. A few years ago, we expanded into Juab County, where we also have a dairy and about the same number of acres up there.
So I'm Chance Lyman, and I farm here in Millard County, Delta, Utah. I'd like to dub it as the hard pan of the United States. We farm just under 500 acres. For the most part, we're growing alfalfa and small grains in rotation. We run 300 to 320 head of mother cow a year, depending on range and where we're at. I think in agriculture now we get stuck in that rut where the same thing happens day in and day out. We're expecting different results and we're not getting the results that we're actually striving for. So what appealed to me in being introduced to the Soil Health was the fact that I could raise something in the fall and bring the cattle home and have something to graze and extend my grazing season. Once I got going into it, I found out that there was a lot greater benefit in the fact that there was something living at all times, and that throughout the winter months I was able to come out and see activity, whether it was worms or biology at some certain state.
I went from a grain to hay rotation to where we put the grain in it and then we cover crop it for a year, and then we put the grain again and then we cover crop it for a year. And then we go back to alfalfa, and on our soil tests, on everything we've done, we've seen huge differences. And so that, I guess, is the reason we did it. It was more the economic side of it than the soil health. And the soil health has been something we've seen as we've implemented into place.
I guess it was just kind of our Hail Mary. It was do or die. It was something we had to do. Our backs were against the wall. We got to do it to survive. And so now that's kind of what started it. And it's just kind of festered and grown and just exploded with how we love it and we love where it's going. It's amazing to me how quickly you can see the difference, how fast you see results from no-till. The old-time farmers used to tell you if you put stuff in alfalfa that was a great way to develop soil. Well, a lot of that was because you weren't tilling the soil. All those organisms that are in there, we weren't turning them upside down and ripping them up. And so now we're doing the same thing as we're doing this. We're seeing the soil develop. Areas that were poor are now growing a lot better. We sample every year, sometimes multiple times a year. So we do see the organic matter improving. And it's surprising. I didn't think it would improve very much, but we're seeing it jump up, 0.75% in 5 years. That is a big jump for us. And we all know how good organic matter is for our soil. Everybody loves to see that jump. I didn't understand how beneficial it was to leave all those roots in the soil. When we harvest our crops, we don't cut them close to the ground. Our corn stalks are, they're 8 to 10 inches tall. When we harvest our three-way or grains, we're leaving 6 to 8 inches of stubble. We don't want to scalp the ground. We want to leave it there so we can leave some of that armor on the soil. So we're building some of the organic matter on the top as well as what the roots are leaving in the soil. And as they degrade over time, we're capturing some of that. We're capturing that energy that the plants have given us, and we're not going to waste it by tilling it or harvesting it all off.
In this field here, I wanted to try something that was more of a cool season cover crop, something that I could turn the cows out into, give my meadows more of a chance before we take cows down there. So what we did is, this field's got a lot of grain in it. It has a lot of ryegrass, spring peas, common vetch, balanza clover, triticale, some oats, turnips, kale, collards, buckwheat, and flax. I really actually like having the grains in here because, as the cows have been in here when it's headed out, it's kind of bring a lot of volunteer grain back. You come back green after every time you've grazed it back off. And both times put them in here, let them just kind of graze it for a couple weeks, and then kick them back to the meadows. We still have a good couple weeks where we can throw a herd of cows in here to finish them off before we start feeding. So I've been really, really impressed with this field. It's cut down on inputs, it's made us more productive, and it's given me additional places to put my cows.
Guys that I've talked to in Idaho, Midwest, they've all said the same thing, is that you've got to ease into it, and when you ease into it, take your time and make sure it's a program. How I manage my cover crop depends on where I'm at, where my growth is, and what I want to accomplish. But I do like the intensive side of it. I've had upwards to 110 cattle on an acre a day, and I move every morning. They have that acre all day. They're content, they're satisfied. I've tried several different ways. This fall coming into it, I didn't have the growth that I wanted, so I haven't intensified. My plan is get the growth this spring, and then I'll go back to the intense grazing. We've allowed ourselves to distance ourselves from the soil, and I think when following the soil principles, that's what needs to be brought back to the farm, is the fact that we need to look at our own situation and apply these principles to our own situation and what can be adapted to what we already have that's there.
My farming practices were passed on to me from my father, who's passed on to him from his father and his father. The soil health change that's come to me in the last 10, 11 years has honestly been like walking out of a dark cave into the bright sunlight. It has been amazing to me to see and to learn and to try and grasp what's out there. I thought the soil was there to give to the plant. I didn't realize that the plant could give something back to the soil. That was a completely new concept to me. I had no idea. I had no idea how we could improve the organic matter of our soil by the practices that we make. I didn't realize we could make a change and we could improve it so quickly. So I'm excited to see where my children take this farm, where they take the production, where they take the soil health. I'm excited to see what they can do.